Hi everyone, welcome back. Lovely to see you again, as always. I had my beard trimmed. Do we think it looks good? Yeah, I like it. It was getting a bit bushy, you know, just it looks so much better like this. We're going to be doing more Am I the A-hole? Am I the bumhole? You decide. This chair is so squeaky, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this one I actually saw on someone's Instagram or something, or TikTok or one of those, and it just made me laugh, and I need to stop laughing all of them, I'm so sorry, but they do make me laugh. Am I the bumhole for being angry that my roommate was sleeping under my bed for months without telling me? No! Oh God, what would you do if you found that? My God. I don't know. I'd freak out as well. I, 24 male, have lived with my roommate Carl, 24 male, for 2 years. A few months into rooming with him, he told me he was pansexual. I said, okay, cool. I am not interested in that personal information, nor am I judgmental. I said, all right. A few times over the last year, he asked me if I'd ever considered experimenting with other men. I said nope. Fair enough. Also, I said I did not feel comfortable with being asked such a personal question. It's not like we are close friends. We are only roommates by habitants, basically. Anyway, every time I said this, he basically said, we'll see. I was like, what? That's a bit creepy. I mean, come on. As a gay man myself, I understand, you know, wanting the straight boy and blah, 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 and all that is like a fantasy for some people. It can make people feel uncomfortable. If people are not comfortable with their sexuality, then, you know, I mean, I wouldn't. I'd make it as like a joke, but I wouldn't really. If I knew someone was uncomfortable and said no, then not at all. I would not. Anyways, last night I had a horrifying experience. I heard a noise under my bed. It was movement. Oh my God. At first I thought I was imagining things, but then I heard it again. I thought, oh God, it's a mouse or a rat or my God. This was like 3 a.m, so I got out of bed and looked under with my phone flashlight. Now, this here was the most startling moment of my life. I guess I am lucky. I have never before this moment felt true terror and fear as a physical sensation, but I was completely jolted. There, under my bed, was my roommate staring wide-eyed at me, and he screeched when I looked under the bed. No! Oh no! Oh no. God. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. Yeah, I bet you did. My goodness. I then just hearing, sorry. My roommate crawled out from under the bed, crying, apologising over and over again. Oh dear. I was so creeped out and afraid that I ran out of the apartment in my pyjamas. There was a Dunkin' Donuts that was open 24/7 a few blocks away, so I just sat in there with a decaf and a breakfast sandwich with my heart thundering away. My roommate kept texting me asking to talk. I ignored it. Yes, I can understand why you ignored it. In the text, he found a way to horrify me even further. He confessed he'd been sleeping under my bed a few nights a week for 3 or 4 months. Oh my God. And that he was doing it to get closer to me and physically saturate each other. What does that even mean, physically saturate? What does it mean? Oh my God. Physically saturate each other. The fuck? Yeah, oh my God. I waited for him to go to work and I ran into the apartment, got my essentials and left. I am currently crashing with a buddy. Our lease is up in 1 month. My intention is to simply not renew. Yes, make sure you do that. This dude is blowing up my phone and I am getting texts from other people, some friends of mine and some bozos who are friends with him. He is going around telling people I shamed him and that I am rejecting his apologies. Some people are claiming I am overreacting and invalidating his feelings. But do you know the whole story? Most people agree he was improper, but I should work it out with him and give him a second chance because he's sensitive? No, absolutely not. No. I don't care if he's sensitive. What he did was creepy and disturbing. He needs therapy. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I am seriously 20% convinced I am experiencing a long lucid dream of sort. I'm wondering if I'm going to wake up or if I am in a coma or something because this shit is so insane. Like, not really, but maybe really? I mean, what the f***? So, am I the bumhole, or is everyone around me a f***ing nut? Everyone around you is a f***ing nut. Oh, God. No, you are not. Also, I must have to say, the way you wrote this was very well written, and you seemed very well spoken, and, you know, you didn't overreact or make him sound... I mean, you just wrote what you experienced, but you haven't been derogative towards him in any way, which is really good of you. So it shows you, from this, I mean, I think you're a good person, and he is definitely... something is definitely up with him. Okay, but... let's see what the comments say. I'm going to be interested by this one. Dude is not mentally stable and you need to get out of there. Yeah. Sounds like he ended up wearing your skin or some shit to physically saturate with you. Edit. This has become the most unvoted comment ever and I'm not sure how to feel about it. Okay, this comment is quite a good one from the Donkey Forcer. What on earth? Oh my god. I'm mostly totally stunned that anyone has heard this story and gone, oh well, a bit weird but not that bad. I was the kid who couldn't pee without checking behind the shower curtain and it haunted me for years. And no, my parents didn't spy on me. On the contrary, I trusted them 100% when they said I had every right to privacy as a human being. Absolutely. This experience would haunt me for a life to a degree where I checked under my bed every night with a pounding heart and probably have to seek counselling. OP, you need to read up on stalkers and how they get away. When he's this unhinged already, I doubt he's willing to chalk it up to, well, that made me freak out in unhealthy ways and I should probably leave the dude alone forever, besides telling him I'm getting a shrink and will leave him alone forever. I hope he does just leave you alone, but odds aren't that great, and better to be prepared than realise later on that he knows your new address. I mean, yeah. I think it's rather sad because people saying that his behaviour is acceptable and that he's just sensitive. Of course, we don't know what he's telling those people. He could be telling something completely and utterly different. But from what it does sound like, they're just blowing it over and he's probably cried in front of them. Manipulators cry quite a bit in front of people to make them feel sympathy for them. I definitely would maybe look into getting a restraining order because this is not right and he needs therapy, and if his friends keep, you know, making excuses for his behaviour, he's never going to become better, and that's the scary part because you're allowing this type of behaviour to keep going, which is very scary in my opinion. Okay, now we have another one. This one's quite short and sweet, but I think it'll be quite a good one. Am I the bumhole for quitting my job when my boss just told me my salary is being cut in half? Can they actually do that? Only if you're like getting demoted or anything like that, but my goodness. I ran a small restaurant that had not been doing great over the last 2 years. I have tried my best to do everything within my power to boost sales and get new customers. They also do not replace broken equipment. The ice machine has mold growing in it. Ugh. The cooler doors fall off a few times a shift. One AC unit in the kitchen just doesn't work, so it's only hot and uncomfortable for the cooks. I've been working there for 12 years and I love my job 90% of the time, but yesterday I was told my salary will be cut in half starting next pay period, and they wanted me to pick up what my remaining responsibilities would be. Keep in mind, I am the only manager and there is no chef. I manage all orders, beer, liquor, wine and food. I plan special events, Thanksgiving dinners, beer specials, etc. I cook when a kitchen guy is out sick. I bartend when no one can cover a shift. I am the electrician, plumber, HVAC, janitor, therapist. I make all the schedules, do all the training, created the training program, pay the bills, the list goes on. The owners take extravagant trips yearly, like going to the Paris Olympics or Scotland for a week. They spent 3 months in Europe 2 summers ago while I ran their business. Now the business is not doing so hot and I am the only salary employee. I have to give up half my pay. I would go from 1,800 per week to 900 and be forced to bartend to supplement my income, which means my bartenders will make less money and have fewer shifts while I have to work more hours to get my other responsibilities taken care of. Nope. You can bugger right off. I'm sorry. No way. So I want to tell them I do not accept the pay cut because I know I will be responsible for all the things ownership is going to neglect or forget to do, which I assume will mean I am fired/quit. Does this make me a selfish asshole? Absolutely not. My husband says I should stick it out because I need the insurance, but I am tired of feeling like I have been taken advantage of. Yes, I think you should tell them to go shove it where the sun don't shine and see how they survive without you. I bet you within a week or a few days they'll be calling you back and giving you your full payback. They can get lost. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hate people that take advantage of people like that, and people who work in the service industry with the general public, like restaurants, any like customer service facing role. It is not easy. People are assholes and you want to slap them in the face. I don't condone violence, so please don't do it. But I worked in hospitality for quite some time and it was awful. Especially during the pandemic, it was horrific and I hated every second of it. I don't think you're the bumhole at all. And regardless, is a job really worth your mental health? That's what you really need to ask yourself. And staying in the job just because of the insurance is not a good enough reason. I'm assuming you're in America and over there is awful anyway when it comes to healthcare. I think you should definitely find another job and one that does have insurance, which I'm sure you will because you seem to have vast amounts of experience. You've done so much. You could easily do, not be on the floor. I mean, if that's what you want to do and be on the floor and manage the restaurant, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities where they're looking for people to hire, especially nowadays, when hospitality has taken a hit. I don't know what it's like in America, but here in England, was really bad after the pandemic and especially after Brexit because a lot of foreign people left. And they were the ones that were doing the job because sadly over here it's seen as not great to work in hospitality, whereas places like in France and Italy, it's a well-paid job and they go to school to study it and it's seen as a prestigious career. It's not here and people treat you like crap sometimes and it's awful industry to work in, which is why I escaped. But no, I don't think you're the bumhole whatsoever and I think you should leave the job. But let's see what some of the comments say. Not the a-hole. Think of it this way. You can stay in a stinking restaurant at half pay, or you can get a job at half pay in a thriving restaurant and work that pay up. I mean, it makes sense. You owe your employer nothing after what they did. They sure as hell aren't taking a 50% pay cut. Absolutely. We don't owe these people anything because as this proves, they don't care about you clearly or all the hard work you've put in because they've not had to interact whatsoever and they go spend all that money. It just goes to show business owners and big corporate business owners don't care and they will let you go if they need to. It's just unfair in my opinion and there's no security sometimes with jobs. So why should you bother putting in the effort when they're not rewarding you of your efforts? They are disciplining you for your efforts, if anything, and they are taking advantage of you. And quite frankly, it's disgusting. So I would tell them to go shove it. Oh, I like this one. From the Peanut Gallery. This comment is quite good. I might say something like, I've been thinking of a 50% pay increase would be more appropriate given my contributions. Plus, it is entirely possible that the health inspector could show up at any time and it would be very unfortunate if that were to happen. I'm sure you want to get the restaurant back up to code and I'd love to help you do that. That's a very good retort. I think that's brilliant. Threaten them. That's how you get things. It's not how you always get things, so calm down. This is quite an interesting comment. It's from someone who is a successful restaurateur. So, hi, I own a successful restaurant. Let me give you my perspective as a potential employer in your field. Tell them you need a new offer in writing before you can figure out your new responsibilities. Then take that letter to the unemployment office and file for unemployment due to constructive dismissal. Unemployment will either give you your half of the wages back or give you leave to quit and collect unemployment while you find a new job in the USA. If you can do all those things reliably, completely, and on a schedule without any training or oversight, and if you can care that much about someone else's business, you can find a better job. The ship you are currently on is sinking. It's already sunk to the point where the mast is barely poking above the water and you're balanced on top on one foot. The owners do not give a single shit about the business. You will be losing your job anyway if you don't quit. One day soon, you will show up to work and the doors will be chained shut and the tax line will be posted on the door. If you do decide to keep your job for insurance, do exactly half the work you are doing now and give zero fucks about the rest. Absolutely. Don't do work you aren't paid for. Make it their problem. They created the problem. They can solve it. But that won't work. So your job will become to deal with angry people who didn't get paid, served, / whatever. And we're back to just quit. Please, for the love of justice and sanity, do not continue to keep this business running on $900 a week. They do not deserve you for that. Absolutely not the bumhole. I 100% agree with that, and I really think you should, I hope, please take that into consideration, exactly what this person has said, because this person runs their own business, so they know exactly what you can do. I highly recommend you take this advice and get the hell out of that job. And please come back with an update because it would be very interesting to see what happens. I do love a bit of gossip, it's great. Anyway, that's enough for today. Thank you so much for coming and watching this video. I really appreciate it. I will be back with another one. It is going to be a bit longer, but I think it's going to be quite juicy. So I shall see you next time. Bye.